Hello and good morning. It's 11 o'clock on Friday morning. You know what that means? It's colouring in time. Yes, this is fast becoming one of the favourite shows of the week, where every week we do something different in the colouring sphere. Now this week is all about watercolour. So let me show you what we're going to be doing today, right? We're going to be learning how to do this fantastic technique where you get that watercolour image and it's all washed out and drawn out. We're going to be learning how to mix different colours together. So look at the graduation, the shading on here. I love this stamp. So we're going to be learning how to draw colours out like this. We're going to be doing a little bit of work with embossing, so you can be doing some embossing with white embossing powder, and then I'm showing you how you can use that and draw the colour out from there. With embossing, we're also going to be doing a bit of 3D embossing, and we're going to be using all of your watercolour pens as basically paint palettes. So like creating our own watercolours and showing you how to mix colours. So I've got loads planned. I've got a whole 2 hours of a full-on watercolour masterclass, right? Now, Colour Me Happy is the show we're doing every Friday at 11 o'clock, where we'll take a look at a different colouring medium and learn all of the techniques that go with it. I'm not on my own for this show though. I have the lovely Jo, who's going to tell you all about a free download. If you haven't already got yours, let Jo tell you.
Yeah, there's the free colouring download. I've got mine ready to go. I've been over on the website and downloaded it, so go grab that. Make sure you got it downloaded. I know so many of you have already grabbed it. Lynn saying that she's already got it. I'm just watching the comments already. So many of you. Link to the colouring book is on the bottom of the screen just there. I can see Laura in Stamford is watching. Good morning, Laura. Debbie is watching as well. Wanda said that she's going to get her notepad this week and take some notes as well as watching along, so she's able to recreate these effects later in the week. Eleanor's saying that she loves your top as well. We've got loads of great deals for you. Got everything that we need in the show to make you a watercolour artist. But Sarah firstly is going to take us through all the things that we can do with these and show us the basic techniques. I've got my pens and my water brush ready, so I am poised, ready to see exactly what I need to do.
Oh, I'm just having a little look through the colouring book, Jo. I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to colour first. We've got some beautiful designs that Sarah's drawn for us this week. Oh, that lovely set of tulips from Sharon. That's going to be lovely to practice with. Another lovely background scene from Sharon, so you can kind of build up. And this week, Queensway Dental have sent us this lovely image that you can use for all of your kids. There's some kiddies colouring as well. So you can read all about that over on their page too. Right, let's just start. Should I just start with a nice... let's just start with this nice one at the top. Start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. Right, I'm going to use a little bit of purple, and I might, should we do a little bit of green around these? Yeah, a little bit of green coming around here as well. Right, watch how awesome these pens are, okay? All you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of colour. So I'm literally scribbling my colour onto here. So I'm going to put the purple, and actually, should we do this as a bit of a two-tone? Should we do purple, and should we bring a little bit of yellow around the tip and edge, right? So you just bring your colours on here, and then a little bit of water, right? So just got a little bit of water brush here, and I'm going to start and drag that colour out, right? And then I'm going to mix that into my yellow so that I get that little bit of a shade at the top. So you see how deep it is down the bottom, going to that very, very pale yellow right there. You can see how the colours just mix in front of your eyes, literally, right? Let me show you with another one. Let's do this one round here. So, colour around the bottom, right? We're just bringing this colour in, and we're going to mix it with this lovely lemon that comes round the top. So I'm going to start with the lemon this time, so you can see it the other way. We're going to drag the lemon down, right? So we're going to drag the lemon down from the top, and then a little bit more water, and we're going to drag the purple up from the bottom. Now, can you see just how intensive these colours are? These are our watercolour pens. If you haven't tried watercolour pens before, they are fantastic in terms of having the intense colour for you to be able to work with. So let me just show you. You can see how intensive those colours are. If I just put this on here, little bit of colour, right? We add a little bit of water to it, and look how much we can water that down. From a very, very intensive colour, I'm watering it down right all the way to something very, very pale. Look how fantastic that is. And that was, just to remind you, from something that dark to begin with. So you can see how you can get multiple shades from one. You can blend different shades together. So for example, if I bring in a little bit of my aquamarine, and then I put my purple next to the aquamarine, all we're going to do, if we're going to blend the two together, is literally colour from one into the next one, and you can blend those two shades together, and you can even create all of your own brand new colours. Look at this. So I'm going to be teaching you how to do this over the course of the show. They're incredibly versatile pens. Get your free colouring book downloaded if you want to give this a start. We've got some fantastic starter packs. If you are brand new to watercolouring, I've tried to choose all of the products that I know a lot of you have, and we sell, no word of a lie, millions of these pens every year. So I know quite likely, I would imagine if a lot of our regulars out there watching today, I would imagine more than half of you should have at least one of our packs of the watercolour pens. If you do, send us in your pictures. Let us know that you're colouring along with us and what you're doing. We'd love to feature as many of you in the show as possible. Just email your pictures to details at the bottom of the screen. However, if you are someone who is completely new to watercolouring, and can I just say we've had hundreds of new viewers join us this last week, so a big hello and welcome to all of the newbies out there, and I know that our regulars will welcome you with open arms into the community that we've got here. But for all of you new viewers, what we do is we always put together like a nice little starter kit of the colouring medium, so that you've got, for those new people starting, it's a really inexpensive way to dip your toe in the water. And we always do a big masterclass kit for those of you who want everything in the range and want to be able to do all the techniques. So I'll get Joe to take you through all that, and I'll get ready for the first demo.
Oh, hello. I was losing myself there in the colouring, loving those techniques, loving following along. So what I want to do is just quickly take you through. There's a few great deals that we've put together, a bit of something for everyone here. So what we've got firstly is the Spectrum Noir Aqua Markers Technique Set. This is like your starter kit, if you will. So what you're going to get in here is you're going to need some pens to get you started off. So we're going to put the primaries in here. If you're only going to get one set, this is definitely the set for you. So that's going to be in there for you. We're also going to put some translucent watermark ink pad in there too, and this will become clear why you need this a little later in the show. It's great for things like your resist technologies. We're also going to give you a waterproof dye ink as well, so it's going to allow you to stamp out imagery and then colour over the top without smudging the lines. Talking of stamping things out, you're going to need some stamps, and that's exactly what you've got in here. So we're going to give you the Keep Shining stamp, which is beautiful to watercolour up, and then you're also going to get 15 sheets of the watercolour card as well. So that's all £30 or $42. So that really is like your essential collection, really, when you think of it. Now, I know a lot of you though will immediately think, okay, I can see the value here, I want to go for more colours, and absolutely you can. So what we've done is you get everything that I shared with you along the bottom row there. What you're also then going to get is you're going to get more packs of pens, basically. So we're going to give you the essentials, which are in here. These are great things like your skin tones. You've got some of those darker brown colours in there. You're going to get the florals as well in this one, so that's coming included for you. We're also going to give you nature, so great for doing all of those wooded scenes and all those nature scenes. You've got 12 in each of these, by the way, so you're getting a lot of pens total. And then you've got this one here, which is the landscape. So you've got 4, if you go for this one, you've got 4 of the 12 packs, that's 48, and then you've got a 6-pack as well, so you get 54 of our aqua markers within here. You're still getting the ink pads, you're still getting the stamp, and you're still getting the card stock as well. Now you're saving £43 in the UK on this. You're saving $48 if you're in the US, £80 in the UK, $100 if you are in the US. So do grab those. Now there's some other kits as well in the show too. So we've got some smaller collections for you. So we've put a boys kit and a girls kit together. If you really do just want to dip your toe in and you just want to test the water. See what I did? Watercolour, test the water. You like it, don't you? What we've done is we've put a girls kit together, which is this one just here. So what you've got in here is your florals along with some watercolour cards. So this would be great if you wanted to just download the colouring book from the website. Then what we're also going to do is we've done a boys one, and the boys one is the primary. So we're thinking florally for the girls, primary for the boys. This is what you're going to use to colour in things like your action heroes and all of that stuff. It's the most affordable way to get involved, £18 or $25. Now, lots of you are still chatting away on Facebook. Well, this is a great opportunity for you to get any questions that you might have in during these shows as well. I'll do my best to get them answered as we go through the next couple of hours. However, I know a lot of you want to get ahead already. A lot of you already have got ahead and are shopping on the website. But if you want to watch and shop us at the same time, then here's all the details on how you can do that. Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
Now, first things first, best place to get started. Let me show you, if you haven't used any of the stamps before, and this whole concept of receiving just a block of rubber is a little bit alien to you, I'm going to show you what it is that we can do with it, okay? So, if you take this out the pot, there's actually 3 stamps on this set. So all I'm going to do with a sharp pair of scissors is come round here, and I'm just cutting quite close to the edge. You don't have to be super close, but the closer you get, the less likely you are to get what's called overstamping. Okay, and basically back in the day when people were first doing stamping, you used to have to get all of your stamps on wooden blocks, and just think how much space the wooden blocks took up storing them. And also you're basically paying for someone to do this bit of the cutting out, and then you're paying for an extra bit of wood. Well, you just need one block, and then you're going to be able to stick everything onto one block. Now, they aren't pre-sticky, these. So what you do need to do is just make sure the back of these you've got some adhesive on. Now, I use our stick and spray because it's a repositionable adhesive, but any type of adhesive. So do you know what would work a treat? A glue stick. You know the kiddies glue sticks, they also work an absolute treat. So you want to get your glue on the back there. I'm going to pop this onto one of our blocks. Oh, you're not quite going to fit on that one. We'll go on the bigger one. Onto one of our rocker blocks, or you can use a stamping platform or any sort of stamping base. And what I like to do is bring in one of our stamping mats just to make stamping a little bit easier. Now, we've included in that starter pack one of our waterproof dye ink pads. Now, it's really important you use the right ink pad for the job. So can you see it's got a water brush on it? So basically what it means is whenever you're doing watercolouring, we're going to use the waterproof dye. And so that you understand, it is basically the opposite type of ink to what the water is. So it's because if it was a water-based ink, then it would move when you put the water on. So we give you the opposite type of ink, but you don't need to worry about that. You just need to worry about the fact that it is a waterproof dye ink, all right? Plenty of light tapping. We've put the rustic brown one in here. So plenty of light tapping on there. And then all we do, if I go from the side, you'll be able to see this nicely. Rocker block, basically you start on one edge and you rock from heel to toe. You don't need a lot of pressure, but it will guarantee you an absolutely perfect, there you go, perfect transfer of the image. Now this means this will be dry instantly. You've got all that detail, and it means that when we go over it with a little bit of water, which I'm not going to do at the moment until I put my ink on, but when you go over it with a little bit of water, it's going to wash out straight away. Now, I've got all my pens nicely organised in here. In the starter kit that's on your screen, you're going to be getting the primaries, which I've put on the top, which are a brilliant, just a nice kind of starter set to get you going, okay? So let me just show you the primary set. I want to make sure I get the right ones out here. Primaries. So you can see in here, you are getting the scarlet, the crimson, burgundy, a nice bright orange, the goldy shade, the yellow, an aquamarine, a teal, a navy, a purple, a magenta, and a red violet. I didn't remember all those. They do say it on the back, right? So you get a nice little mix of colours. Now, with that butterfly, let's have a look. I'm going to bring a little bit of the aquamarine in, and I might mix that with a little bit of magenta looking at these. Blues and purples. I'm so predictable, aren't I? Right? Now, all of these aqua pens, if you look, they have two ends to them. So they have like this brush tip, which is what I'm going to use most of the time. If you're just using the brush nib though, as I do, you can see that it's very, very, and you see it's very, very soft and pliable. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint in a little bit of that aqua here, and then I'm also going to paint around the edges so that we can blend in from here again, right? So anywhere where we'd want blue, just put your colour in to start with. So colouring all down the edge, and you can see just how easy it is to get in there. Yeah, and we're going to mix a little bit here as well. We're going to mix the blue into that magenta. So I'm going to bring the magenta down from the other side, and you don't really need them to go over top of each other, but you do want them to come pretty close to each other. All right, so we put the second colour in there as well, just blending all that colour round. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in with a wet, not too wet, but a damp. So look, yeah, look what I do. I always like to take off the excess onto my wrist. And then you're basically going to blend the two together. Make sure you pick colours that are going to blend together. So I knew that the magenta and the teal would blend together beautifully. Now I'm using the watercolour card because what it does is it means the colours won't dry too quickly, and I'll have that little bit of time to blend the shades together. To be honest, I probably shouldn't have done quite as much butterfly as what I did, because it's just as soon as they start to dry, it's a little bit harder, but you can see them starting to blend together there beautifully, and the more we go over it, the more they'll start that blending beautifully. So let me show you again on the other side. Let's just do a bit at a time this time. So not the fine end, you want the brush nib, and we're going to just drag out a little bit with that brush. We're going to drag a little bit in from the other side, and then while they're nice and wet, you're going to just blend them together, and you're going to get that lovely watercolory look in the centre. And you see, there you go, you can see those two blending together beautifully. Absolutely perfect, right? Now, instead of me continuing on with that butterfly, I'm going to quickly jump into the second technique that you could do with these, right? So let's get another piece of watercolour card. This time, I'm going to take the pens directly to the stamp. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off, and should we do some different shades this time? Should we get the navy, bit of navy and burgundy, maybe it's into a bit of orange, right? So now, I'm going to colour in the stamp directly using the pens, right? So I'm essentially using these as like a, I'm using them like an ink pad, right? So I'm just picking. Then I'm going to go straight into the burgundy one. So I'm going to go over the top of the blue into the burgundy. Make sure you don't miss any pieces, right? You definitely don't want to be missing any. We're going to get all of this coloured down, just as though, remember with the ink pad, we brought the ink pad to the butterfly. You're going to do exactly the same, essentially. You're going to just be bringing your pens to the butterfly this time. Now, try not to go over too much. It's always better if you can start with a lighter colour and then colour your darker colour over the lighter colour as well. That would be the ideal way. Then you don't cross-infect the nibs of your pens with the other, because it is watercolour. So we don't want to in any way damage our pens, right? So we've got that coloured in there. Now, this has probably started drying a little bit already. So what I'm going to do is just bring in a little bit of a spritz, and I'm just going to give it a tiny little spritz over the top just to revive that and get it nice and wet. And then we can stamp just like we did with our ink pad, but it's nice and wet, which means I can now come in with that damp brush and start dragging out that colour directly from the stamp. Can you see? So we've got that lovely mix of colours. And depending on how wet your brush is and how long you leave this to dry will determine how much you're able to drag that colour through. But can you see how I've got that really like earthy, coloury feel from this, just going straight from having coloured in the stamp. It's a fantastic technique. It's super easy to do. And essentially you're using every one of these ink pads, every one of the pens as though it were an ink pad. You see how easy that is to do? So this one will be a little bit drier this time, so watch how this moves, you see? If I start dragging that out just a little bit, and we're just blending that in here a little bit together, and you've still got the detail in the butterfly, but we've got that lovely earthy, ethereal, watercolory technique, and we've got those blends of different colours. Isn't that absolutely fabulous? So this is just using the butterfly that comes in your starter kit. So remember, the starter kit, you are essentially getting the butterfly, which you're going to need. You're going to get that waterproof ink so that if you want to try stamping and then colouring, you've got the waterproof ink. And you've got the set of primary pens, and you've also got the watermarking pad, which I'm going to use next, along with some of the extra colours from the big collection. So Joe, why don't you just walk us all through what the different options were, and I'll get ready for the next demo.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I'll show you what I've been up to as well. I've been doing a bit of colouring. I'm loving it. Learning as I'm going as well, following along with all of Sarah's tips. So a lot of you now wanting to grab the deals that we have. So let me just show you what, there's a few different ways of you getting all of these beautiful bundles that we have for you. So what we've got firstly is your Spectrum Noir Aqua Marker Technique Kit. And in here, this is your sort of essential collection, if you will. You've got your primaries in here. So what you're going to get is you're going to get Scarlet, Crimson, Burgundy, Orange, Gold, Yellow, Aquamarine, Teal, Navy, Purple, Magenta, and Red Violet as well. So they're your aqua markers that you're getting included in here. We're also going to give you that beautiful butterfly stamp that you've just seen Sarah use as well. Now you're going to need something to stamp that up with, so we're going to give you one of our watermark translucent inks. Great for embossing, wonderful for resist techniques. And then you've also got your waterproof dye ink pad as well, which means that you can stamp out these images and then get your water involved without anything smudging. We're also going to give you as well, included, 15 sheets of the watercolour card too. So you're going to get that in there as well. That's what you're getting. That's £30 if you're in the UK, or $42, which is tremendous value for money. Now, let me just share with you the larger collection, because the busiest collection that we have in the show is actually the Masterclass collection, because what that gets you is everything that I've just shared with you, but then what you're going to get is a shed load more markers, which I know so many of you want. So you're going to get the Nature, and the Nature is going to give you Sunset, Amber, Chestnut, Fawn, Desert, I almost said dessert then, food on the brain, Topaz, Evergreen, Sea Green, Kingfisher, Peacock Blue, Marine, and Boulder. You've also then got this one here. Now this one here is your florals. You've got Begonia, Rose Pink, Blossom, Marigold, Jasmine, Sunflower, Meadow, Bud Green, Leaf Green, Orchid Heather, and Wildflower in those ones. You've then got as well your essential, so lots of lovely skin tones in here: peach, spice, terracotta, tan, chocolate, sepia, lime, olive, moss, slate, charcoal, and black. And then finally a 6-piece collection, which is this one here, which is your landscape, and this one is going to give you bright meadow, forest, ocean green, lake blue, sandstone, and bark. Now you've actually got so you've got 4 of the 12 packs, that's 48, and then you've got 6 here, so you've got 54 markers on this, which is fantastic. You've got a great saving as well, because the best way to get the best value is to go for the larger collection. So you're saving £43 or $48. That takes it down to £80 or $100. Very busy on that one. That's far and away the busiest collection in the show. Something else I want to show with you is the Crafter's Companion Technique collection. Now this is kind of all the hardware, if you will, to do all of the things that Sarah is showing us in the show. Now, you don't have to just use these for all of your different colouring. Of course, there's going to be loads of other stuff you can do with these. We've got some layering stencils here for you as well. You can see there the kind of effects that you're able to achieve with those. So that's coming included. You've also got this beautiful kaleidoscope of butterflies die. And in there, you're going to be able to cut these wonderful butterflies that you can see here. You've got 3 different size butterflies dies. You can layer them up, or you can use them all individually. It's completely up to you. Now we've also got the Toadstool Home rubber stamp. Now this is gorgeous. Look at what you're able to do with this. This imagery is going to look wonderful when you've got those aqua markers in there and coloured it up. We've got another stamp for you. It is the Magnolia Blossom stamp that you can see. It's another one of our unmounted rubber stamps, which you guys absolutely adore. And this is what you're going to be able to do with that. So dainty and pretty and perfect to allow you to watercolour with that one. We're going to give you an embossing folder too. And with this one, this is the Lily Collection embossing folder, and you can see here the great technique that you're able to achieve with that one. And then finally, one last stamp set. There's a lot in this one for £25 or $35. This then is your, this one's called Cherish Every Moment. And here you can see all of the great things that you're able to stamp up there. You've got that lovely big focal point. You've also got some embellishments in there. You've got some sentiments as well. So all of that, £25 or $35, over 40% off there as well. So however you're going for it, whichever configuration you are grabbing, I know you're going to have absolutely loads of fun when you get these. I know Sarah's got so much more to share with you.
And I know they might seem like a random assortment of embossing folders, dies, stamps, but trust me, they are all the things that work beautifully well with watercolouring. So they are, stay with me, watch the whole masterclass, and you'll be able to see all the different techniques we use all of those for, right? Now, that beautiful magnolia stamp. It is one of my all-time favourites and one of the top ones I go to when I'm watercolouring. So for example, look at this. This is that stamp, beautifully watercoloured, but can you see it's got a white edge to it? That's because we're going to use the white embossing powder. Now, to do anything with your embossing, you're going to use our watermark pad, which is why I've included that both in the starter kit and also in the complete collection. You don't need to go for the starter kit and the complete, by the way. You're basically going for one or the other. So you're going to put plenty of ink on here. And then what I'm going to do, just like you saw me before, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to rock from heel to toe and get that ink transferred. Now you can't see it because it's like an invisible ink, but what I'm going to do is I put some embossing powder on here now. So while it's still wet, I'm going to pop on my embossing powder and then just gently heat all over this. It's a detail white embossing powder that I'm using, and as I'm popping it on, I'm just making sure that we pick up all those little bits. Yes, we don't want to miss any. I don't know if you can see that there on the camera. You might be able to start seeing little bits pop on. Just make sure you just tip off little bits of embossing powder at a time, because you want to catch every last little bit of detail. So I'm just being ever so gentle with the tipping. Now, what I have done, I've just noticed when I'm looking at this, okay, I'm just going to come in with a little paintbrush, just got some embossing powder. I must have just nipped the edges there of some of my stamp when I've been stamping. So I've made sure I've picked up those. Let me just show you then, if I bring my heat gun in and I'm just going to heat, I'm going to heat it from the top, and we're just going to heat until that embossing powder turns. Now I get asked this all the time, what do you do if you haven't got a heat gun? If you haven't got a heat gun, don't do heat embossing, right? This is not one of those techniques that you can substitute out a hairdryer for. Trust me, I've tried it. So yes, a heat gun is pretty essential if you're doing any work with embossing powder. So I'm just going to get all that heated up there, and hopefully, if I just show you that to the camera now, you'll be able to see what it's done is, it is melted all of that together. So can you see, I don't know how well you'll see the white, but you can see it's melted it all together. All right, now I'll pop the rest of my white embossing powder away, because we're going to be doing some more with that later. Doesn't have to be white embossing powder, it can be any colour you want. I just really like this look and effect with the white, okay? Now I'm going to just bring in a couple of shades of pink, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of deep colour right in the edges here, and can you see that the white resists it? All right, so I'm putting the deep parts in here, and then I'm going to put the lighter pink shade around the top. All right, you don't have to do two shades, one's fine, but I really love the effect that we get when we use two together. And you know what, I'm going to see if you can get really up close on this and have a good look at this blending together. So as I start and break down them colours, you can see that they blend down absolutely perfectly. And because you've got that white embossing powder, there we go. So you've got the white embossing powder, basically you've got, it's going to resist no problem. And if you think at any point the colours are a little too intensive, all you can do is you can come in with your, and you just pick up a little bit of colour on your, what do you call it, kitchen towel, that's perfect. Right, I'm going to start on the next bit. I'm just going to work my way through all of this bud. Hi there, Joe. Any comments?
You commenting along. Kirsten says she has all the markers and she absolutely loves them. Also, Jan is saying she's got them. She's dug them out. She's colouring along with us this morning as well. Kay saying how much she loves watching Sarah, which is always fantastic. Lynn saying how much she's loving the techniques, saying fab techniques as well. And a lot of people commenting, including Robbie, on just how pretty that butterfly is too. And Jo saying that she loves the pens also. A lot of love for these. A lot of you have got them already. A lot of you are going for them today. Don't forget as well, if you want to send us any pictures of anything you've been up to, we always love to see them. You can send them to us by going to studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. That is where you need to send them into, and we'll do our best to show some of those as we go through the show. But we would love to know what you have been up to as well. We always love to see your projects. This one looks absolutely beautiful, Sarah.
Doesn't it? This is why I was like, do you know what? Let's see if we've got any of these. Let's dig right to the bottom of the warehouse, get some of these gorgeous stamps out. I absolutely love this magnolia. It was one of the designs that Sheena drew when she was part of our team for us. Beautiful, gorgeous design, and always one of my favourites to go back to whenever I'm watercolouring.
A lot of people asking about cardstock as well, Simon. What's the best to use with these? Definitely
get yourself on some watercolour cardstock. All that will happen is, if you don't use watercolour cardstock, you'll be really frustrated because the cardstock will soak up your ink too quickly for you to be able to do this watercolouring technique. So it's really important for you to have the right colouring medium to work with, right?
It is indeed.
That's why we include that watercolour card. I've just had them bring in another order of thousands, and I mean thousands and thousands of sheets, because so many people are getting into colouring, watching our Colour Me Happy every week. I don't want you ever to be coming back to our website and not be able to get the right cardstock and not be able to get the right results, because then I know loads of you will get frustrated and give up on this sooner than you want to be.
And loads of you are saying how much you're enjoying colouring along. I am having a go, which I'm quite happy with my results. I'll show them in a little bit more detail as we go through. But they are very easy to use, these, aren't they, Sarah?
Oh, well, look how easy they are, Jo. I mean, literally scribbling a little bit of colour down and then just bringing a damp brush and drawing everything out. It is that simple. I think you're using a water brush, aren't you? One of the ones that's preloaded up with water, so they would work in exactly the same way. You don't need any prior skill. You don't need anything special. All I would say, and this is why I've done these starter kits for you, is for a lot of you, I know you're going to want to do exactly the techniques that I'm showing you today, which is why I put the kits together, which have all of the technique bits, so that you can do exactly this card. If you just want exactly this stamp, everything I'm going to be doing on the show, you're going to be able to get that one starter kit and have everything you need to do all the techniques. That's why it's a great kit for you to do everything with.
Loads of you getting your questions in as well. Someone says, do you need to have extra paper behind these when you're using them, like we do the alcohol markers?
No, lovely thinking though. Great. I'm just pleased you're all listening to me every other time, right? No, you really don't need to. Just one sheet's absolutely fine.
Did you use hot water straight from the tap, or did you heat the water hotter?
The water?
Is what Carol's asking, so.
No, yeah. This is just cold water out the tap before we came on.
Fantastic.
I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you, Jo, because I'm going to stay there. I'm going to push this along so that I'm on my white base instead. And watch what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bring a little bit of blue. So I think I'll use the aquamarine here, and I'm going to paint it down onto here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put like a glow around our flower, right? So a little bit of water, quite a lot, watered it down a lot. And I'm going to come around the flower and just add a little bit of a hint of blue, right? So you just need a little bit of the hint to start with, and then you get your brush and you just wash out the edges. Oh, a little bit too wet there, but you can always go and pick it back up. This is a great thing. You're just going to wash out the edges so that you've just got that little bit of a hint of blue. Can you see? It just gives it a little bit of grounding on there, Jo. So I'm going to go all the way around and just add a little bit of blue on there too.
Sean's asking, which colours blend well together, Sarah?
Do you know what? With watercolour, you really kind of can't go wrong with it.
Okay.
So what I would say, to be guaranteed to have colours that really work well together, try and choose ones from the same colour packet. So
Okay.
we always try and put our colour sets together so that people who really don't know about shading can just pick up ones from the same colour packet and know they are from within the same colour family and are going to watercolour together beautifully.
That's always good to know. Robin says, watercolour always scared me until I started watching these shows. Now I love it. And so many of you do. Jane says, never give up. You'll get there. Maz is saying, I haven't picked up my aqua markers for a little while, but it looks like I need to. Absolutely, you do. Diane is saying, looks fab, Sarah. I keep trying to think I need more practice. Some people are saying as well, do watercolour pencils and watercolour markers work together, Sarah, or are they something that should be kept apart?
No, you can absolutely use them all together. Absolutely not a problem at all. So Fantastic. The only rule when you're doing watercolouring, right, is once you've wet your card, don't go back to the card with more of the ink. Right, okay. So if you want to add ink to an already wet card, you're going to have to do it this way. You're going to have to pick it up from the edge and add it on there. Now, doesn't that look absolutely stunning? I'm absolutely thrilled with that, Joe. So that just shows you how you can do. Let me just take it and show you it here. That just shows you how easy it is. You watch me right from the beginning do that whole bit of watercolouring. That's how awesome this is.
It really is great, and the way that it sort of blends out is gorgeous, isn't it? Just really, really beautiful.
But you know, this is just the start. This is literally just the beginning, Joe. I'm going to get ready. I've got loads and loads to show you. So give me a second. I'll get ready for the next demo.
Yes, I want to also show you as well, so the boys and girls kits that we have on the show. Though, you know, boys can have the girls kits, girls can have the boys kits, absolutely. But we've put these together just to sort of show you the sort of things that you're going to want to be using. So the boys kit is what is going to use the primary, which is this one just here. So you're going to get the primary colours: scarlet, crimson, burgundy, orange, gold, yellow, aquamarine, teal, navy, purple, magenta and red violet. You can see those in a little bit more detail on the back of there. And what we're going to do is give you the watercolour card included as well. So that is your boys kit, £18 or $25. And then the girls one is exactly the same. What it just has is those more sort of delicate, dainty florals in there. So you've got begonia, rose pink, blossom, marigold, jasmine, sunflower, meadow, bud green, leaf green, orchid, heather and wildflower as well. So there are all the colours that are there in your girls collection. Again, £18 or $25. I would say far and away the busiest item though on the show is the large masterclass collection, where you get 54 of the markers, literally all the markers that we have on the show for you today. So you're going to get the primaries, you're also going to get the florals, the nature, the essentials, the landscape. You're still getting the ink pads as well, and you're getting the stamp, and you're getting the watercolour card. It's your biggest saving in the show. It's also the best value too, so £80 or $100. Here is everything that you get included, so you can see it all there laid out beautifully for you. This is the real comprehensive collection. This is the one that all of you super fans will be going for. If you want to be able to recreate all the techniques that Sarah's doing in this shows as well, then the one you want to go for is the Crafter's Companion technique set, and this one here is £25 or $35, over 40% off on that. Now, something else I'm going to show you in a little more depth in probably the second hour is the discovery kits. Now, you've got lots of different ones in here for creative colouring, for design. You've also got a manga in here, maybe calligraphy or blended mandalas. Something for everyone. It's a real good try-me price there as well, $11.99 or $15.95. Also, a lot of you multi-ordered these when we brought them to you, and a lot of you have been sending these to other people. Remember, with absolutely anything that we bring you here at Crafters TV, and of course the whole site at Crafters Companion, we can send you the invoice and we can send all of the wonderful crafty goodies off to someone else, should you wish, if you want to send them a little bit of a care kit. Now, a blending collection we also have from Spectrum Noir on the show. I know Sarah's going to be using this in the next demonstration. So here you've got the brayer, you've got the mat, you've got the 2 blending pools with all the refills, you've got the blending eggs, you've got the misters, and you've got the palette there as well. So a really great comprehensive bundle to use across lots of your different inks that you have, all of your ink pads, your Spectrum Noirs as well. Catherine says hello from Catherine and Danica. Crafting along with our 2 packs of aqua pens. It's lovely to have your company. What colours are in the 6-pack, please, Joe? Oh, the 6-pack, the landscape, it has bright meadow, forest, ocean green, lake blue, sandstone and bark. The only way to get that 6-pack is in with your largest collection, on the Masterclass collection. A lot of you talking about cardstock. We'll get to those questions a little bit later in the show. Also, more questions about printing off the sheets. I'll actually put that to Sarah. Sarah, do you put the watercolour paper in the printer to print the sheets out onto? Is that the correct way of doing it?
Yes, I do, but make sure different printers, some printers will take it, some won't. If you've got a nice top loading printer where it comes down and out the front, should be fine. We've printed all of ours here with a laser printer. That helps, because obviously your inkjet printer, you don't want the ink to move as it was when you wet it and do it. So you can see there, mine there, and how those colours are blending together beautifully, but it's all done onto that watercolour cardstock. So yes, pop your watercolour cardstock through your, if you've got an ink, a LaserJet printer, if you've got an inkjet, you need to, I think you can still print it through, you need to like let it to dry properly and set a little bit, and don't over wet your card. You can still roughly get away with the technique, but don't be over wetting it. That's the kind of trick to all of it, right?
Fantastic.
I think I've lost Joe. He's just sitting. He's kind of half.
Yeah, I'm awake.
Half colouring.
I've done this one. I feel like this was a good learning case. I like this leaf here. I'm most proud of this one just here. So I thought now I'd move on to this vase of flowers, and I'll give those a go. I might do those all in one colour and see. But it's very easy to get confident with it because, well, let's face it, you're just sort of moving the colour around, which is great. Tammy's saying, beautiful flower picture you made, Sarah. Kirsten saying no better way to have fun than play with the aqua markers. Beautiful job, Sarah. It's a lovely stamp. Robin agreeing it's beautiful, as was Lesha. Don't forget, if you want to download the colouring book with all of this wonderful imagery designed to go perfectly with your aqua markers, and you can do it. Details are along the bottom of your screen. Download it, get it printed off. And if you're thinking as well, oh, I would have loved to have joined in with this show, but you know, by the time I order, by the time I get my sheets printed, don't worry about that whatsoever. Place your order, download the sheets, print them off. When your product arrives, then come back to the Crafters Companion website, go to Crafters TV, and this show will still be there. You can go back and watch all of the shows that we bring to you and get all of the hints and the tips and the inspiration from it as well. So you're never too late here with us at Crafters TV. What you got next for us, Sarah?
Oh yes, I'm gonna move on to my next technique. What I will say is, don't forget to send us your pictures. So were you doing the Sparkle Masterclass last week? Were you doing the watercolour pencil class the week before? Or right back at the beginning, our first class, we did the tri-blend pens. Have you done any of that? Get your pictures in, send them off to us. Details at the bottom of the screen. We're going to show some pictures after this demonstration, so get your pictures sent in. Or if you want to do a little video, make sure you just do it landscape, right? So if you've got your phone and you're doing a selfie, do it this way, right? Not this way. And then we can have it and we can go full screen like your TV is, right? Who's watching us on the big telly today? Who's watching on the big telly? If you don't know how to watch on the big telly, if you're sitting watching on your mobile phone, I always say to people, go and have a look on your TV, put the YouTube app. If you've got a smart TV, you can click on YouTube and then just go and search for Crafters Companion. It'll see it pop up and you'll say, we're live. And you can watch us on the big telly. Loads of you I know watch on the big telly, comment along on your phone at the same time. So, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why I put that stencil in this collection, right? And what I've done is I've included a layering stencil, so it's got multiple layers. So in this one pack, you've got 3 layers with the stencil, right? So 1, 2, and then 3. I'm actually not going to use 3 at the moment. I'm going to use 1 and 2 to show you how you can double layer up. So you would start with number 1 on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in just a scrap of the card and spray the backs of these stencils with a little bit of the repositionable adhesive. In fact, instead of spraying it there and getting it all over my mat, I'm just going to take it behind me and just give it a good all over spray all over the back, right? This spray, by the way, if you don't have it, is our stick and spray. So it's brilliant in terms of the stick and spray is going to be fantastic. It's brilliant for holding your rubber stamps on your rocker blocks, or it's brilliant for holding your stencils in place. I also use it for putting all the kids' pictures up around the house, and it doesn't damage the wallpaper. Now, 30 seconds and all the propellant will evaporate, so you're left with just adhesive. And we're going to pop this down on here. Now, here's the thing. I know you're all thinking, wow, can you colour straight through your stencils with your pens? Well, you can, but you would get like really intense colour. If you want that watercolour effect, what we're going to do is we're going to put some colours. So let's do the actual flowers themselves first of all, should we? So if you have a look at the shading here, you can see this is layer 1. It's going to be the background. You always start with a lighter colour in the background, then we go to a deeper colour. So if I get a couple of shades, I'm sitting looking at my these are my floral set and these are my primaries. I'm thinking I might go with the red violet from the primary, and the blossom's going to be nice and pale from the floral. And then I think we'll go, meadow and bud green would be quite nice, because bud green's like quite intense and meadow's just a nice soft subtle one, right? So we'll use those shades on here. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of colour down. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use that blending kit that we've got, that's got all of the blenders in. But the problem is, if you pick this up, in fact, you know what, I'll get a little scrap of card and show you, right? Then you can understand why this is so important, right? If I put this ink down, and we pick this up on here, right? And then try and colour through it, it just doesn't go, it goes hardly anywhere. Yep, we've used it all up because it's just sunk into the card. What we need to do is increase the open time on the ink. And to do that, we're going to use some glycerin. Now, if you don't have glycerin, I tell you what, this is like a vegetable glycerin that we just ordered off Amazon. However, I would say it's brilliant if you want to get some. I always get some from the pharmacy. So, I mean, we go through a lot of it, hence we use a big dish like this, big bottle. However, get some from the pharmacy, and it's just basically, you know, when you've got a bad cough, it's about £1 or $1 a bottle-ish, maybe it's $1.99 for a bottle of glycerin. It's just the stuff that lubricates your throat when you've got a sore throat from the chemist, or they generally have it in the supermarket on the food aisle because people mix it with icing paste when they're doing cake icing and whatnot. So that's what it's for. All I'm going to do, can you see how much I've got on here? I'm going to use a little bit of that, so not too much. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of it onto here, right? It's definitely a case of trial and error with this, right? You put too much on and it's basically going to be too wet. You want enough to just slightly increase the open time on your pen, right? So now, when we pick up the ink onto here, you can see it's picked it up a lot more smoothly, and that is going a lot further. Can you see it's a lot more subtle colour, and we're getting an all over background blend instead of one splodge of colour and it's absorbed it, right? So we're going to use that on here. I'm going to do a second one as well. I'm going to bring another second clean one in, pick up a little bit of that glycerin just onto there, not too much, working it all in, right? And I'm going to get my meadow for the leaves. So a little bit of green down here, and I'll get that worked up for my leaves. And then a little bit more of the, what was that one, the blossom. So these are from the floral set, and we'll use this for our flower. So just going to go into the flower. Now what I am going to do is just going to go off the edge of my flower here, because we're going to trim it down at the very last thing that we'll do is we'll trim that down, right? So you can see I'm just not quite going to go up to my leaf. I'm going to try and get up to the edge bit of that floral. And because we've used the glycerin, we've got that nice all over background. And I'm going to do the same here with the leaf, just bringing that leaf in. So you see, you were all wondering why on earth has she got stencils in the set, what are we going to be doing with stencils? Now you know. Now you see we can be using every one of these aqua markers as an ink pad, right? So you think there, especially if you go for that big bundle, that is literally all of your ink pads taken care of. You've got how many pens in there? 12, 24, 48 pens. And I would say it's 48 ink pads, but it's not, because you can be mixing these colours. So if I wanted a deeper pink, oh, you get the extra bonus 6-pack. Oh, I'm underselling them.
I've got, let me assure you.
I'm underselling it, Joanta. Totally underselling it.
You are. Loads of people watching us on the big telly. Suzette's got us on the big telly. Evelyn's got us on the big telly. Maybe we could get some telfies sent in as well.
Send us your telfies.
Send us a picture. Send us a selfie of you with us on the big telly in the background, so you can pop those to a studio at at craftscompanion.co.uk. Robin says, always on the big telly. I'm watching you on the big telly. Wanda's got us on the big telly. Melissa's got us on a 65-inch screen.
Oh,
It's a good
Melissa.
job it's not too early, isn't it? I can't imagine I look great on the 65-inch screen, to be honest.
I'd like to know how we look on a 65-inch screen. Send us a picture. Right, you've got to send us a selfie. So
Yes,
here's
please.
what you're going to do, okay? You're going to do this. You're going to get your camera. You're going to set it up on a selfie mode.
Do you want to send yours in? We can take this one and then we could send this one in as
There you
well.
go. And you can send this in. So I'm going to go away. Take a selfie with the telly in the background. Then you just email it to studio at crafterscompanion.co.uk.
Absolutely.
And let's have a look. Studio at crafterscompanion.co.uk and send. And we'll get your selfie on the big screen, right? Oh, I love it. Love
Fabulous,
technology.
isn't it? I just need to let you know as well just how busy that the masterclass collection is. It is very, very busy on the largest collection. Pretty much all of you going for that biggest collection, which is great because you know you're going to have all the colours that you need. Is this all the colours in the range, or are there more colours beyond this as well, Sarah?
We did a couple. Let's have a look. I'm going to get a deeper shade here. Let's get a bit of wildflower on. We've done a couple of, like, you know, like the 6-pack that you've got there.
Yeah.
So we've done a couple where we've done like smaller packs as one-off editions. But when we release these are the core colours that you need to get started because
Perfect.
you can blend them and change the colours, which I'm going to show you next. We're going to get onto all of that. Don't worry. So I would say if you go for them, it really is 48. But you're right. You get the 54, don't you? So you get the extra couple,
Yeah.
which is just brilliant. That's going to be everything you need.
Suzette's asking if you can use that glycerin technique with other Spectrum Noir markers.
Yes, anything that's water-based.
All the
Isn't
water-based
that
ones.
exciting? Anything water-based is going to work an absolute treat. Can you see, you don't need very much either. I'm just picking up a little bit here. You do need contrast in your colours, which is why I found that using just a darker pink wasn't quite enough. I've used the deeper one. I've gone with the nice, this is Wildflower from the floral set, which is why you need the flower. You see, it's nice to have the primaries because that gets you it gets you started. But if you're pretty serious about doing anything watercolory, you want a nice big collection of colours, and that's why you're going to go for these. I just think it's really nice to have all the shades like this, isn't it? A bit more green over here. So this is now my bud green, so my brighter green, and I'm going to bring this in on here. And what we're doing is we're just adding more of that detail in. So I hope there's enough of a contrast between my two colours here. It's just going to be, even if it's just quite subtle, it's going to give us a nice 3-dimensional leaf. What a fantastic technique. And glycerin, honestly, if you've never tried this with glycerin before, it is really easy for you to be able to use that. Now, have we had any photos yet, Joe?
Oh, we certainly have. Should we take a look at some?
Yes, please do.
Oh,
Look,
let's
I can't
see
believe you got me
these
there. Do you know what I'm doing? To get lower down, I'm stood. This is me normal height. I've opened my legs right up so that I can get right down. I'm like, whoa, here we go. Right, who sent us some photos in then?
That's a workout as well as colouring in. This one here is Alana, I believe, that sent us this one in. Oh, she looks like she's having loads
Oh, she's
of fun.
colouring this morning. Oh, Alana, I am so impressed. Look at her with a little paintbrush there. Alana, that is fabulous.
Really beautiful. Kirsten sent this one in to us as well. This is a beautiful hummingbird. How gorgeous is that?
Oh, nice, Kirsten. I like that. Beautiful.
Now, this one's from Zara. Can you believe she is only 12? You would not guess, would you, looking at that?
Zara, that's fabulous. Somebody joined us for the masterclass a couple of weeks ago and got those pencils. Oh, we need a picture of Zara in the... I'm sure Zara sent us a picture in last week as well of her doing some colouring. But that's using this week's colouring download. Zara, you're doing better than me. I know I've only got a couple of my leaves done, but you're doing better than me. Get your mum to tell her you want some pens now. Tell her you've started on the watercolour pencils and you're ready to go up in the world and start getting some of the pens. And then make sure she gets you some glycerin when she's next out at the shop so you can do all these techniques as well. Right, are you ready for the big reveal? So we did layer 1 and layer 2 on this. When we peel, oh my life, this is looking amazing. Do you want me to peel it backwards for you so that you can have the same experience I did there? Look at this. Doesn't that look, knock it out of the park, spectacular? Look at those leaves with the two-tone on them. Look at the flowers. I actually even quite like that background. So I was thinking the background, I was just going to trim it off. But I quite like the splodgy colour background. So it just shows you, because we used the stencil, we stuck the stencil down, we've got that beautiful all over background colour. Looks fabulous, doesn't it? So that is how you're going to use glycerin if you want to do glycerin in with your markers, basically to make them all into like ink pads. To get ink. What you're doing is increasing the open time, right? You're opening up the open time. Now, they've just told me the website's absolutely gone bananas. So let me get cleaned down a little bit. We're only halfway into the show. I'm only halfway down my list of things that I wanted to teach you. This is, got to remember, Friday morning is a full-on masterclass. So we're looking in depth at all sorts. So next, we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing some wash backgrounds with our white embossing again. So let me get tidied up. We'll get ready for the next one.
I just want to show you how I'm getting on as well, Sarah. So you can see I've just used one colour here to go in with it. And I've laid all the colour down, and then I'm just going in my water brush and
I'm well impressed.
just colouring it out. It's very, very cathartic, I must say, Sarah. I'm really, really enjoying it. I thought the watercolour pencils were easy. I would say these are even easier. So if you didn't think you were a colourist, but you were able to use those, you're definitely going to be able to use these. Shall I just recap the details for you on that technique set that you've just seen Sarah use? What I love about this technique set is, yes, it's going to work perfectly. I'm going to have to tidy up as I go. I'm naturally very messy, I warn you. The great thing is, yes, this is going to be fantastic for all of these markers that you're seeing, but if you are someone that does a lot of different types of crafting, you can use these across your whole crafty stash, which is brilliant. So we've got that wonderful stencil that Sarah showed us, so you're going to get that included, which is fantastic. You're going to get one of our most popular ever butterfly dies within here as well. It's a kaleidoscope of butterflies. You've got 3 butterflies in different sizes there. You can agitate the wings as well and lift them up. I'm interested to see what Sarah's going to do with the butterfly die. I have no idea how you might use that within your aqua markers.
I just thought it would be really nice for you to, with having the butterfly stamp, you could do some die cut pieces to go around it too.
Oh, what a great idea. We've then got some stamps for you, of course, rubber stamps in here. So this is your toadstool home, and this is a kind of imagery that you're going to be able to stamp up with that as well. So you can see that watercoloured is going to look absolutely beautiful. We've got another rubber stamp in here for you. I'll show you what that stamps out so you can see. As well as stamping that focal point, you've got some embellishing elements, and you've also got your a sentiment in there too. One of our most popular ever 3D embossing folders, it is the Lily one it's the Decadent Lily from the Nature's Garden Lily collection. This was such a popular collection, so it's great to have this in here. And I'd never really thought about colouring a embossed piece of card, but look at what you do get when you choose to. Very, very subtle, very delicate, which I love about this one. And then what we've got for you is the Cherish the Moment stamp collection as well. So you can see it here. You've got those lovely big focal points that you're going to be able to watercolour in with. You've got some embellishments, some backgrounds, some flourishes in there as well. All of those are coming to you for £25 or $35, which is an incredible deal. You've got a great saving on that. Loads of you, where I've put my laptop, I haven't got a laptop. What have I got? I've got an iPad, that's what I've got.
Was that a hint?
No, I have got a laptop, I've just not got it here. Lots of you still commenting along. Maxine's saying, hi Sarah and Joe, sorry, just got back from my essential shopping trip. So missed the start, we'll catch up on what I've missed later. And that's a great point. You can watch all of our shows back over on our website. How are the pens different from the Spectrum Noir Aquatint pens that Danielle has? What's the difference between these two, Sarah?
So I'm trying to see if I've got any Aquatint pens here. I haven't, but I've got one of our sparkle pens, so I can kind of show you. Right? Now, the Aqua pens, can you see, have a Transorbin, and they have essentially like a paintbrush on the end. Our Aquatint pens are in the same carrying mechanism as our sparkle pens. So you've got a mixing chamber here, and you've basically got intense watercolour. So they're very vibrant, intense. These are to give you that controlled medium of, it's a different type of brush tip. So I don't know how close in you can get here, but these are like a brush nib, like a paintbrush, where it's got lots of little bristles on. These ones, it's one, can you see, that's like one like foamy nib. So it's a completely different type of nib. So you've got this foamy nib on your aqua pens, or if you've got the aqua tints, they've got the same nib on as our sparkle pens, where you've got that lovely lovely brush nib. It's just different techniques that people do with them. I would say your aqua tint pens are like your more advanced version. This is where everybody should be starting off watercolouring. You want to do any watercolouring, right? The rule is, that's on the wrong side. The rule is you absolutely need to get started with these. And that's why we do that technique starter kit. So I know the details are on the screen for the big one, but I'm going to remind you that little starter kit gets you, look at that, £30 or $42, gets you all of these colours in the top line here. So they are, I'll show you them to here. You can see all the different colour sets here. These are the ones that are coming on your top line here. These are your primaries that are coming in your starter set. The next one down here are your florals, right? And then we also have the nature and the landscape sets. So these are basically you build yourself up as you're going. So if you go for just the starter set, you're getting these and the butterfly stamp that I started with, and the watercolour card, and the 2 different type of ink pads I've been using. If you go for the complete collection, I've learnt my lesson. I've put everything from the starter kit into the complete collection and just added in all the extra pens as well. Then thrown in the extra freebie 6 set of the landscapes as well. Right? So hopefully that kind of gives you a bit of a starting point. Now, before I get into the next demo, what I'm going to do is show you these. I don't know whether to show you them on the overhead. Yeah, I think I might show you them on the overhead. Or should we have a little look on the close-up? See my 2 options. Oh yes, I might show you them on the close-up. Here we go, right? So these are all the different things you can do. This is just a background wash, blending 2 colours. So this is one colour, brushed along, gets you into the next colour, okay? This one here is just one colour going from the intense colour washed right out to nothing. So do you want me to show you how you do those 2 again for anybody who missed the start of the show, right? Let's go for this one. So we had like a nice yellow and a bit of navy. Do you know, instead of using it on there, I'll just use it on some of my little scraps of card, should I? All right? Yes, right. So all you do is you would be starting with your yellow at one end, right? And you would be starting with your navy at the other end. So you've got your 2 big wash downs of colour. And we're going to have, I'll have a nice big brush to let me do this with, right? And so you're just washing the colour down, and then we're washing it right out, yep. And then I'm going to come into the yellow here. So I can wash the yellow out, and obviously the yellow will come in and meet the blue in the middle, all right? And you can get that. Now, can you see I've got really intense yellow down here? If you want to intensify that yellow at any point, you're just going to don't put more pen on here. You're never going to do that. You're going to pick up more pen, and you're going to take it onto the base from your pen, all right? So there's our yellow, and if I want to do the same with the blue, I just put the blue down. I'm going to pick up my blue, slightly damp brush, not too wet, just damp. I'm going to pick up the blue, and then we're going to wash over with that blue. So that's how you do one shade into the next one. All right, so you've got the blue going into the yellow. When that dries, you'll see it'll create that new colour as we're going on along. That's the blue into the yellow. If you just want to do one colour, like what this one was, you're just going to take this. Let's get my kitchen towel. Keep it placed nice and tidy as we're going. Right, we're going to just take one colour. So we'll take that nice wildflower, and actually I'll colour it down straight onto here this time, so that you can see the difference that we have if we work straight onto there. Damp brush, right? So not too wet. You're going to pick this up, and we've got intense here, right? And then as we get paler, so as we get more and more water in, so it's going to wash out and wash out and wash out, and we'll get a little bit more water in again, and we'll wash that right out to almost nothing, all right? And you want more colour, you just wait for it to dry, go in with another one. So that's how we would wash out from a deep colour right down to nothing. So that's 2 different just background washes that you can be doing. It's actually the background wash I was going to show you as my next technique. I'll cover that over next as well, all right? But let me keep going. This is, oh, these are fabulous to do these. So this is if you want to just splodge all of your colour down and pick it up. Should we do this as well? Come on, why not? Right, let's have a look, make sure I've got plenty of watercolour card here. Should have cut loads of bits, shouldn't I? I can see this being the whole book, Joe, but it's nice to show everybody how to do all of these techniques. How are you getting on over there?
Yeah, I'm good, I think. I'm really pleased with myself. I'm just finished off my bowl as well. If I wanted to, if I had like, you know how I love a bit of glitter, Sarah, let's not deny it. Could I use like the glitter overlay on these if I wanted to? You know, if you got the sparkle one.
Look at you getting your craft on. I'm well impressed. Yes, fantastically well. Because they're all water-based, they're going to work beautifully well.
Perfect.
Right, are you ready? So, if I want to replicate this technique here, all right, onto this bit here. So, I'm going to want a bit of purple again, nice bit of teal. We'll get a bit of pink into these, right? The easiest way is to colour these down on your base, right? So, get your colours splodged down. I tell you what, a glass mat is like absolutely essential. Really, if you're doing anything with aqua markers, you absolutely want that glass mat, all right? And then all I'm going to do is let's go for like a medium-sized brush, water into there. We're going to pick it up. I'm going to start with one of the deepest ones, pick them up, and then drop these on, all right? And then I'm going to go into the blue one and splodge the blue one in between. Yep, and then I'm going to pick up the pink one and splodge my pink. Oh, look, I hadn't cleaned my brush off enough, so we've just got a bit of splodging at the moment. But if you do want a bit more, let's get a bit more pink down here. Yeah, a bit of intensive pink, right? Pick this up and then splodge your pink down as well. And can you see I'm just literally merging all those colours together? You just want to do a little bit at a time though, because you want to give it time to... you don't want it to dry too much. Can you see this is quite dry now, which is taking me a little bit more work to blend those colours and shades in together. And also you want to be able to let your brush clean up between colours. So now I'm starting to get a bit of a murky, muddy mess. So I'm just going to go in with a bit more ink down there. I'm going to clean my brush off so it's nice and clean again. And then we're going to pick up some nice pink and we're going to splodge some new pink down there. Look at that. And that's how you would do that splodgy all over background. So that's the next one, right? And if you want the colours more intense, you just need to use darker colours or don't let them dry as much. So if I just bring in the one that we had, there we go. That's using, there's the colours written on the back here. Rose red, marine and wildflower. Rose red, marine and wildflower to do that one on there, okay? So then just a couple of other things. I'll just run you through all of these. You might have seen me doing loads of these type of techniques where you drop salt. So you put it on and then while it's wet, oh, I've got a bit of salt, we can do that. You drop the salt on. We've got this one here, so that's exactly the same. If you're now wanting to do the, basically you create a background wash, you're going to leave it to dry a little bit and then we're going to flick the colour on and pick the colour out. So I'll do that on one of these two as soon as it's dry a little bit. This is where we use a resist ink pad. So can you see that really, really super? So you're going to use the watermark ink pad, just like you saw me doing the one that we have on the show. Here it is. You're going to stamp this one, but you don't need to emboss. And then you're going to leave it to dry, or you're going to dry it off with your heat gun. And then you're going to be able to just wash over top of that. I'll do that one on the overhead, because I think that might be a little bit easier for you to see. There it is, yep. This one is your embossing folder, and the ink's been put inside the embossing folder using that technique with the glycerin that I showed you. This is the technique with the glycerin through a stencil. This is the technique that I showed you where you paint onto your stamp and stamp with it. This next one is where we took that and sprayed it with a spritzer to get it to all move, right? Oh, we're still going. This is stamping with the inks and then just drawing out a little bit of colour. This is where you stamp it with your embossing powder and then do a wash all over the background. This is where you flick it with a drawing gum and then rub the drawing gum away to leave that bleached effect at the end. This is one of the ones I'm going to show you soon, actually, with the 3D embossing folders and how you can put your inks over. We've got loads. Look, this is just basically picking up mess from your background. So I've got loads to show you. We are literally just past, oh crikey, I didn't even get to the end, just past halfway in the show. I've got loads more to go through, but have we had any more photos sent in yet?
Oh, I think we've got lots of photos we can share with you. I'm just going to share with you what I've been up to. I think I'm done there with that. I actually quite enjoyed doing it all in one colour. I know it's a bit, maybe a bit unadventurous, but there's something quite lovely about the sort of mindfulness of just doing it all in one colour. Really love that. Now, should we just take a moment to recap all the deals, because it is very, very busy, as we knew it would be. Our Colour Me Happy shows are always so exceptionally busy, because I think colouring is just such a great craft for everyone to do. It's something that we've all done as children, so it's very, very easy for us to come back to it, which is fantastic. Now, let's start with the Spectrum Knight Aqua Marker Technique Kit first. So what you're going to get in here is the essentials that you need to get you started. So you've got the primaries. Now the reason you've got the primaries is that these mix really, really easily together. So you're going to be able to create a lot of colours using these 12 markers. You're going to have as well the stamp here too. So in this collection you're getting the Keep Shining stamp, which is this one here. You've also then got the waterproof dye. This is the rustic brown, and you've got the translucent ink pad there as well to get you started. And also in this you're going to get 15 sheets of the watercolour card, which is fantastic. So £30 for that one, or $42. That's really your sort of essentials collection, if you will. Now the masterclass, over a third of the stock of the masterclass collection has already sold out and gone. There's a lot of you in the ordering process at the moment as well, and a lot of you will watch this show back afterwards compared to watching it live, because obviously it's still early in the States. How early is it in the States? It's
very early. Middle of the night early.
Is it 7 a.m? 6, 8
on the
a.m?
East Coast.
On the East Coast?
West Coast, everyone's still in bed.
Absolutely. I would still be in bed even if I was on the East Coast, let's face it. But so what happens is, as America wakes up, these shows get really busy. A lot of people watch them back the show. So if you are watching us back at a later date, definitely check the stock on the website because it is very busy. Now, if you go for the masterclass collection, you're going to get everything I just shared with you in the technique set. What you're going to then get is even more markers. So you've got 12 coming your way in the florals. You're going to get things like begonia, bud green, orchid and jasmine included in this one. You're also going to get the nature, and in the nature you're going to get things like gorgeous sunset, peacock blue, sea green and topaz. You're going to get the essentials, and within the essentials you're going to be finding colours like lime and peach and spice and chocolate. Oh, it sounds tasty, that one, doesn't it? And then finally, as a little extra, you're getting landscape as well. So you've got your beautiful greens in here, your sandstone and your bark as well. Now, going for this collection represents far and away the best saving that we have on the show today, because you're saving £43 if you're grabbing this in the UK. You're saving $48 in the US, £80 or $100. As I said, over a third of the stock of that has already sold out and gone, and it will only get busier and busier as we move towards the end of the show. There are some boys and girls collections, some smaller collections on the website. Go there if you want to check those. I want to just give you a reminder also of the Crafts Companion Technique set. Now this is all the hardware, if you will, to create pretty much everything that Sarah is showing you in this masterclass today. It's not a masterclass, is it? I'm getting carried away with myself. It's a Colour Me Happy show. It feels like a masterclass.
A Colour Me Happy masterclass.
A Colour Me Happy class. Yeah, so in here what you've got is you've got embossing folders, you've got stamps, you've got stencils, you've got dies in there as well, all designed to allow you to create an absolute watercolour masterpiece. Should we have a look at some of your pictures that you've been sending in to us? There's the blending collection, by the way. So in there you get the blending tools with the refills, the mat, the brayer, the blending eggs, the spritzers and the palette too. £30 or $40 there if you want to go for that one. Oh, pictures. So many of you sending your pictures into us. Here's Zara's Telfie. That's a lovely shot of you, Sarah.
Oh, that is a great shot of me. Zara, thank you so much for getting that wonderful shot of me out on national TV. Almost as good as this next one coming up. We've got some superheroes.
Look at them. Their hair, they've got fabulous new haircuts as well, I can see.
These are my two boys, for those of you that don't know. Yes, we had new haircuts going on yesterday, and it didn't go quite as well as I would have liked, but looks like they're doing some colouring in at home. Oh, and look, our Oliver is colouring that gorgeous image that we put in this week's from the Queensway Dental. So we've got, as part of our colouring in this week, we've got some gorgeous colouring downloads from Queensway Dental, some friends of mine who who are based over in, well, just near to my house, have a wonderful dental practice and have given us some lovely colouring sheets, and we are doing a giveaway with them over on their Facebook page. And actually, to have a look, we've got some more kiddies here colouring as well. Oh, look at this. Here's Daisy and Hugh. Daisy and Hugh are doing some colouring. Hugh's doing some lovely, look at that blending, Hugh. I'm very impressed with the tri-blend pens. Oh, look, he even looks like he's got some of them illustrators there as well in his little stash. Man, they've got quite a collection of Spectrum Noir pens at their house. And then Daisy giving us a lovely wave there, colouring her lovely Queensway dental image as well. They are beautiful. Oh, I love seeing all the kids join in. Oh, and then who's this? He's our Telfie. Oh, I'm glad you got mine in the gallery. We took a picture. Look at Joe in the background there. So, yes, there you go. No excuse now. That's how you do a Telfie. I've just noticed, I'm just looking, I've got like a little spot. I've got a little spot of ink on my bust this morning. How lovely. I didn't notice till we saw that picture there. How colourful. You can tell it's a colouring show. Right, are we ready for the next demo?
Yeah,
so,
let's get into it.
What I've done is I've got one of the stamps. This is the you don't have to be perfect to be beautiful, right? And this is one of the acrylic stamps that we've got, and I'm going to pop this onto a rocker block, and I'm going to do that heat embossing technique that I was showing you. In fact, you know what? I might do a couple of these because I think there's a couple of different background techniques I could show you with this as well. So let's get a couple of sheets out here. And I'm going to get my trusty folded in half piece of card, and we're going to stamp this with the watermark ink pad. Here we go, right? So you're going to bring your watermark ink pad, lots of light little tapping to get this lovely overall coverage. And then we're just going to rock from heel to toe, and then while it's there ready, we're going to get the embossing powder on. Now, what I find is, pop your embossing powder on, right? When you tap it off, if it's missed some bits, mine always does the first time, it's just because what's happened is the embossing powder, you've kind of knocked off, as you've put it down, you've knocked off some of the extra. So can you see it? It's just dragged it off. So you don't have to be perfect to be beautiful. There's one ready to go. Let's get ready with the next one. I'm going to pop this in here. Oh, my life, Joe, they've just told me how many people are on ordering the masterclass set. Do you know, I was convinced we would have loads of people getting the starter set today because it would be watercolouring and it might be a little bit different and people would be wanting to know more, you know, where do we get started? But oh no, you're all just going for it. It's masterclasses galore this morning, and do you know what? I'm absolutely thrilled that people are just getting in, even if it's just something new, getting into these basics, right? So here we go. Make sure we've got all our embossing powder on there. I've got two nice backgrounds there, and I'm just going to do that technique where we heat it up with the heat gun again, right? So plenty on there. Let's pop the little lids on. And you know, we've got loads of embossing powder. If you need embossing powder, we've got loads of things like that on the website. Just go and have a look at any point, right? So heat gun nice and warm. And am I in your shot there nicely? Yes, I am. I'll try not to cover you over as I just wiggle the heat gun, and I'm always keeping it moving, right? So that you don't actually get any burning spots. So quite often I try and do it from the back so that you can see the turn of that ink. But do you want me to try and do it from the back? That one there is looking good, so you can see that one there. I'll take one and I'll let you look at it from on the close-up camera, and I'll just start from the back. A few times I've done this, I have actually managed to use it. I think it's really hard to see when it's the white. Can you see that at all, or is it just me? Oh, it's just me. I think you're better off on at least you've seen both, right? You've seen it from both angles as it was. So we've melted all that lovely embossing powder, and it's just all merged into one. Now, I'll take my stamping mat out of the way. Right, so what I'm going to do first of all is just try, should we do one of them nice splodgy technique backgrounds that we did before? Yeah? So let's use a bit of blue, lovely nice intensive blue. Should we use, what would blue mix? Blue mixes with yellow and makes a nice green, doesn't it? So should we use a nice bit of yellow? Oh, that's a nice sunshiny yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use different brushes for my blue and my yellow, so that we managed to keep some differentiation in colour, right? So I'm going to pick up that yellow and just be splodging all over top. Can you see where we've got, so lots of splodging all over here, where we've got, or even over top of where we've had our bits. Then I'm going to pick up the blue, and I'm going to splodge the blue right up to the yellow. You can start and see it where the blue's hitting the yellow. We create now our own shade of green, right? So I'm dipping it into that yellow now to make a shade of green. But then I'm going to go back in and get a bit more intensive blue so that we can get all that nice and shaded up there, right? Now, can you see where that green's been created down here? I'm just going to give that another blend over so that it really is giving us that nice bright colours, but it's all bleaching beautifully. You don't have to be perfect to be beautiful, right? So we'll get all that done there. So that's one option where you do your splodginess. That looks fine. Oh, I've used our Colour Me Happy colours, haven't I, Joe? Quite like that, right?
Wow. That really does look just like our
Doesn't
background.
it does look like our
logo.
Colour Me Happy background. That was a happy accident, right? Now, with this next one, and we'll just use the same colours, I think, so you can see the two. I'm going to put me a little bit more down here. By the way, I was seeing some of the comments, Joe, and people were asking about, in the US, has anyone managed to buy glycerin in the US?
Oh,
so
no one's
I can tell you, because we had a lot of discussion around this the first time I demonstrated it over on HSN. So yes, I know loads of people who've managed to buy glycerin in the US, and again, people have just been buying it from their local supermarket or from the grocery store. Right, so it's
Fabulous.
brilliant to get it from the grocery store. And someone asked, is this the same glycerin that I would be using in my cake decorating? And also someone asked, in my soap making, I've got glycerin that I use in my soap making, is it the same stuff? Yes, it absolutely is. So
Fabulous.
it's the same stuff you're going to be using.
Rosalind says, glad I woke up for this one. This was one of the first class companion things I got on HSN years ago, which is fantastic.
Brilliant.
Candy's asking, can you see my messages? Candy, I can see your messages. Don't you worry, I can see that one at least anyway. Robin's not been able to get the glycerin. It's been sold out near her, unfortunately, but she's going to keep trying. I can see lots of you saying hello. Lots of you still crafting along with us, which we love. Anne says, goodie, just got a text from DHL. That means that some goodies are being delivered to her today, which is fantastic. Lynn Harvey saying as well, love Oliver and Charlie doing their colouring in their superhero costumes. Someone said that picture with you in the background that they sent in needs a caption, so maybe we can work on that. We'll pop it up on our Crafters TV Facebook page maybe and see if we can get a caption competition going there.
Marvellous, marvellous. Right, I've just got these trimmed down, Joe. I find it's always better to work on a larger canvas when you're doing this sort of technique, right? You should really wait till it's dry a little bit. I haven't quite been waiting till it's dry, but it's better to trim off these bits at the end as opposed to trim your little bit of card to start with, right? And then once you get it to this stage, you can just come in, maybe it's a clean bit of kitchen roll wouldn't be a bad idea, and you can just rub over and basically bring that white back up to brilliant white with the embossing powder. Really shows it off there, doesn't it? Love that. And then they will just mount. I had a little card that I took some inspiration from. They would just mount onto the front of a little card, wouldn't they? So a nice little mini card. Mount them onto the front and you'll be ready to go. Now, I would say I'll sit and mount them on the front, but I can see we've only got about half an hour left of my show and I've got loads and loads of stuff, so I'm going to just tie it down a little bit. Let Joe give you a quick update and then I'm going to try and bash through another couple of demos.
I'm all fingers and thumbs. I've got a water brush and a pen. I don't know which lid goes on where. That one goes on there. Let me sort it out. That's it. That one goes on there. Patty is saying she managed to get some glycerin. She got it at the drugstore. Asia's joining us from Puerto Rico. Hello. Bringing the Latin flavour there. Eleanor is saying, do you use it for alcohol re-inkers? I'm thinking you must mean the glycerin. Evelyn saying, yes, I found it in the pharmacy at Walmart. And also Candy is commenting along here too. Don't forget as well, for all of our Club Inspire members, which I'm pretty sure all of you are, if you're not in the club, then why not? Because it is absolutely free to join. Now, we had a Triple Points event last week But this week, we're giving all of our Club Inspire members an extra 5% off. So if you normally get 10% discount, that's going to be bumped up to 15. 15 goes to 20. Even if you are at the top of the tree, even our Platinum members are going to get an extra 5% discount, which is really exciting. Now, if you're new to us here at Crafts TV, you might not be all too familiar with Club Inspire. Here is Sarah to take you through all the details.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a Platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a Gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now, on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money-saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the Crafty makes. We'll send you a completely free quarterly Digimag direct into your inbox, giving you lots of hints, tips, inspiration, additional offers and some sneaky behind the scenes gossip from the team. So what are you waiting for? Become a member of our club today.
All the details there of Club Inspire, of course free to join, so absolutely you should make sure you take advantage of all of the great discounts. Now we're going to take you through something that launched very recently here, and it is our Spectrum Noir Discovery Kit. So maybe you're watching this and you're thinking, I haven't coloured for a while, or I'm not sure if it's going to be for me. These kits are designed at a try me price for you to get it home and try something amazing. The other great thing about them as well is that we have done these with renowned artists included that are masters in their sort of area of colouring or calligraphy, in fact, as it is in this one. So what you're going to get in this one is you're going to get 2 of our metallic markers. You're also going to get one of the sparkle glitter brush pens. You're going to get the art liners, and you also get a worksheet in there too, and something to work on. So it means that you're going to be able to get calligraphy nails straight out of the box, which is fantastic. The next one we have for you is the blended mandalas. So in here you're going to get 3 of our tri-blend pens. You've got the art liners in here, and you've also got as well the how-to guide. It's going to show you how you create these beautiful blended mandalas, but also something to work on. So as soon as you get this home, don't forget, as with anything here, we can send this to someone else on your behalf. We can send you the bill and send these wonderful crafty products to someone else. This one's always really, really popular because in here you're getting 5 of our classic markers. This is Cara Aldridge that's put this together for us. You're also getting an art liner, and you're getting your worksheets and that comprehensive guide on putting this exact style together. Now you've got watercolour here as well, really lovely. So this is what we're showing you. So maybe you're thinking, I would love to try, but maybe none of the kits that we've got for you are tickling your fancy. Maybe this is going to be the one for you because Bonita Malby has put this together for us. You get 5 markers in here. You're also going to get an art liner, you're going to get the worksheets and all the inspiration that you need included too. Now, amongst the most busiest ones on this show, the manga is very popular, as it always is. In here you're getting 2 of our classic markers, 3 of our illustrators, an art liner. You're going to get the inspiration and how-to that you need, and something to work on as well. And this is Nicola Yao that has put this collection together for us. The illustration, always a busy one when we bring this to you. This one's been put together by Tatiana Cavaldina for us. This has got 5 of our illustrators in. You get the art liner in here. You've also got the how-to and something to work on. And then finally, our last one, Cameron Backus has put this together for us. And this is our classic markers that you're going to get in our concept design one. You're going to get 5 of those. You're going to get the art liners, something to work on, and also you're going to get the how-to as well. Great for architecture, great for product design, fashion design. Maybe you know someone that's got aspirations in any of those fields. This would be a great little care package maybe to send to someone, which would go down really well. And again, they're really great try me prices. They're all very, very busy. You'll find them all over on our website as well, so do make sure you get over there and you grab them. Now, the Technique kit, which is that sort of starter kit that we looked at, a quarter of the stock here has gone of this one. In here, what you're going to get is you're going to get that watercolor, your watercolor markers. Of course, you're going to get 12 of these, which is fantastic. You're going to get the watercolor card. You're not going to get the pad, you're actually going to get the card. I think the image is wrong here. You've got the butterfly stamp, and you've got 2 of the ink pads as well. £30 or $42 gets you all of that. The card's going to do exactly the same job, just it's coming to you a bit differently. Now the masterclass, 40% of a big stock now has gone. I think a lot of you have taken time, you've watched the demonstrations, you've seen the inspiration, you've worked out that this is definitely something that you're going to be able to do. Look, let's face it, if I can do it, all of you guys can absolutely do it. And this is the sort of biggest collection on the show. You're getting 54 markers within here, and everything you were getting in that smaller previous collection as well. The Crafter's Companion Technique set. Now this is all the hardware that you need to this is all the hardware that you need to do all the techniques that you've seen Sarah do on the show today. So, and also not just using those with your markers, think about using those also with all of your other types of crafting that you already do. They're just great to have in your stash, all of those items. £25 or $35 if you want to go for those. I need to come back and share with you, we've got the boys and the girls kits for you in the show. Now, let's start with the boys kit, which is this one just here. So what you've got is you've got the primaries, and then you've got that wonderful watercolor card too. So in the primaries, you're going to get colors like scarlet and crimson, burgundy, magenta, all the colors that you need. And put it together like this, because this is all about, you know, you doing things with the children, like doing superheroes and all of those kind of things that the boys generally tend to want to do. If I was going to get one of these two, I would actually go for the girls collection, because in the girls collection you've got the florals in here, so great for doing your flowers, which is what I would be wanting to do. And this £18 or $25, and in here you're going to get colours like begonia, blossom, heather, bud green as well. So a really lovely collection there. Don't forget about the free download that's on the website. It's where you're going to find all of the things that have been colouring along in the show today. It's completely free to download also, and it's on the bottom of your screen now. craftscompanion.co.uk/colourmehappy is where you're going to be able to find that. Download it, save it to your computer, so you've got it ready to print. Just make sure you've got some fabulous quality watercolour card to get it printed out onto. Very busy across absolutely everything. Remember, whilst I'm monitoring the conversation on Facebook, I'm going to go and have a little look through your comments just now. The best way to watch and shop at the same time is to do that over on our website, craftscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Any questions that you've got whatsoever that I can get into Sarah in the next 28 minutes or so, now is the time to get them in, and we'll make sure we get them all answered before the end of the show. But until then, I'll hand you back to Sarah.
I've actually been chatting with people live on YouTube while you've been chatting there, Joe. So, you know, multitasking. I am a woman. Right, what I thought I'd do is go right back to basics. So I've taken one of the images from the colouring book. So remember that colouring book download, it's absolutely free. So you're going to download all of these. Oh, you're over here now, let me show you. You're going to download all of these, and I've printed these out onto watercolour card. There's the one the kids were doing, right? So we want to start on the watercolour card. Let me just show you. I'm going to bring a nice bit of sunflower, right? And then it's up to you. I like to just use a paintbrush that's just, I've got my water here. So I'll just keep dipping it into the water. Oh, you definitely don't want wet paper to start with, right? Don't take your ink onto a wet paper. That's the only rule. Now I'm going to just do one of these at a time. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in some yellow from the edges. So if we just imagine, it would be lighter at the top, right? So I've put a little bit of colour down there, and then I'm just watercolouring with this, and it just breaks down all of the colourant, so we get this nice pale at the edge, and then it's more intensive down here. And actually, if I just get a nice bit of a kitchen towel, what you can do is pick up the excess water. So can you see how that's just washed it out even further? So if we just keep picking up the excess water, you've just got that lovely pale shade. So let me show you that again. We're going to bring it down the edges. Where it would be a little bit darker is where you're going to put your pen first of all. And they're lovely, beautiful brush nibs to work with, okay? Little bit of water, and then we're just going to start and break that down so that we get that lovely washed out watercolour effect from next. Whoa, Joe, you know how busy we were before?
Yeah, I'm just hearing.
And they're just telling me how many more people have ordered it just while you've been doing your chit chat there. So yes, it's just safe to say, as much as I was completely wrong, I said, oh, I bet everybody gets the starter kit today because this is a new technique for a lot of people. It'll be brilliant for people to get started. You're all loving this clearly because everyone pretty much has been going for that wonderful masterclass. We've only sold, it's outselling the little kit 5 to 1, believe it or not. 5 to 1 is what we're outselling. The big kit's outselling the little kit at the moment.
Well over 40% of that stock now gone, almost half the stock in fact, Sarah, so it's very busy. I'll just give you an idea of how busy that is. A lot of you, many more of you watch these shows back after than you do during the show. So if you are watching us back afterwards, definitely check what stock we've got by shopping the show and seeing what's available right now live on our website.
Right, so I've just got a little bit of shading in there. Let's try a little bit on the leaves as well. So I love that bud green, and I'm going to do exactly the same. So I'm just going to bring it along the top of the leaf here, yeah, and we're just going to bring this and wash this out a little bit and drag this all through. And it's just nice. Do you know what I would say? There's a lot of watercolour artists out there, and watercolouring is a brilliant hobby to start because you can get more advanced with this as you go, but it's a nice easy one to start with. So that's why I've tried to do it early on in the Colour Me Happy Masterclass schedule, because I know it's one of those things. I know so many of you out there will have had the watercolours already, but how nice to be able to maybe just learn some new skills. I mean, I've gone right back to basics with this bit of the demo here, but we've done some fairly advanced stuff with the watercolour markers over the last hour and a half or so. So it's nice to be able to see that there really is something for everyone. Techniques, whether it's you've got the kids involved, like my kids are, my superhero kids this morning, or whether it's that you've got you just wanting to get into watercolouring and wanting to know where to get started. We've tried to bring in something for absolutely everybody. So easy to do though, isn't it, Joe? So relaxing as well.
It really is. Rennie saying your warehouse must be massive. How have you guys not emptied it yet? You've been bringing us so many shows, so we really have. I was over at the warehouse actually just yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, day before yesterday. Went over there to see the guys and pick up a parcel, and everyone's working really cleverly and really safely, all keeping their distance and wearing their masks. And also just to let you know that dispatch is leaving our warehouse exactly as it should be. We're getting most of our orders out within about 2 days or 48 hours at the moment, which is super fast anytime, and let alone in the sort of climate we're in at the moment. We do know that some of you are experiencing some inconsistencies with tracking wherever you are, but we know where your parcels are, we know they're on their way, and it just all depends what's going on in the situation where you are. But dispatch, everything is leaving our warehouse in record time at the moment, so it's a great time to get your orders placed and get your orders in. And also because we can keep bringing you these shows, but it's not an infinite pool of great crafting stuff. You know, maybe stock's going to start to dwindle at some point. We don't know, but at the moment you are good to go. You've got all your favourite goodies right there still in stock. So fill your boots.
Do you know, it's always nice to go and pick up something. We've had a lot of new shoppers shopping the website and starting new crafts. Just my mother-in-law, she's been getting into all sorts. Now, she doesn't actually put in orders on the website. Got to be perks of having a daughter or who owns an international craft company. I get a text. She watches the shows on a morning, and then my father-in-law texts me and says, Val really wants to try one of those such and such that you've had on this morning. and then I literally drop, because they live in the same village as us, I post through the letterbox on my way home, or I leave it at the door and I do a knock for them. She was into embroidery this week. She watched our embroidery show and has been thoroughly enjoying all of the embroidery. So she's been really getting into embroidery, which is great, because they've just been doing loads of jigsaws other than that, so they're a little bit jigsawed out. I think at their house, they're used to having the kids all the time, obviously, and they're absolutely totally lost not having the kids. So so they're doing embroidery instead.
You'll have to do like Zoom with the grandparents.
Oh, I tell you what, our Oliver's not into Zoom. Zoom is not popular in our house. He's so shy, my little one. Oliver's my big one, my eldest one. There's kids in their school, the kids in their class Zoom every Saturday morning.
Right.
And he's so shy. He won't join in. He goes and sits in the other room. He sits and cries, and it absolutely breaks me heart to see him go and do it. So I'm torn, because on one hand I want him to try and see his friends, and I want to try and encourage him not to be as shy, but then at the same time I don't want to be doing something that really upsets him. You know what I mean? So we've got that really difficult thing of what do we make him do. So and also he's doing Zoom. He does his karate on Zoom. So the karate teacher Zooms him twice a week and does his karate lesson that he would usually go to on Zoom. Again, they had like group classes that you could go to do, and he was just after the whole incident with the school friends and everything, I thought we're never going to get him onto a class of strangers that he doesn't know. And also the karate's for all ages, so you get like a class of adults as well. So I thought there's no way I'm going to get him on those. But so the karate teacher said she'd do some one-to-ones with him. So he does karate class twice a week. You read all about this if you follow me over on Instagram. You can read all about it and see what we get up to in the Davies household. So I'll be sharing them pictures later of the kids doing their colouring this morning as superheroes. Bless them. Oh, actually, I wonder if we've had any more photos while I'm doing a bit more colouring.
We'll just get to those. Rosalind's saying great discounts this week. She's getting stocked up. Carol's looking forward to receiving her orders as well. Just a quick question though about cardstocks. Sarah, there's a little bit of confusion. What is the difference between the Crafter's Companion watercolour card that we have and the Spectrum Noir card that comes in the pad? Is there a difference between the two?
Nope, just one's got the gummy top on, and we started off with the watercolour card, and we just buy it in by the sheet, and then people in our warehouse sit and pack it together and put it in a little bag. Or then we got the Spectrum Noir ones made into the nice gummy pad, so that when we sell them in the shops, they can be hanging on a shelf. So yeah, it's the same. You're going to get the same effect with the watercolour card, whether you go for the little packs or the bigger pads, just depending on how much use you're going to do. Really, yep.
Fantastic. Rosalind says, love the colouring book as well. Don't forget, make sure you download the colouring book on our website. You'll find it there. And Robbie's saying she loves all the extra shows. Remember, of course, we're with you pretty much every day at 11 a.m. in the UK, 6 a.m. on the East Coast, apart from Sunday. We let you do a bit of crafting on a Sunday, and we're with you in the evenings as well, Monday to Thursday. Well, the evenings if you're in the UK, 4 till 6, which is 11 a.m. if you are on the East Coast. And then Thursdays, of course, we are with you at 7 p.m. Here in the UK, 2 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. Should we have a look at these pictures then, Sarah?
Yes, definitely.
I can see, look at this one. This is from Lynn here. This looks gorgeous.
Lynn has been... She got the stencils out. Lynn, I'm so impressed. Look at that depth in colour. That looks absolutely brilliant. Well impressed. Really impressed. Let's have a look. Oh, we've had a Telfie in, Joe. We've had a Telfie.
Fabulous.
This is really from Australia.
Wowzers.
Oh, my life, Joe. It's 9 p.m. at night in Australia.
I wonder whereabouts. She must be on the West Coast if it's 9 p.m. She must be in Perth then, because it'd be a little bit earlier. I don't know which way the clocks go over there. Jennifer, just up the road in Gateshead. Oh, look at this. Don't forget, this imagery is still on our social media if you want to go download that. They look fabulous, don't they? I wonder what she's used there. Looks like she might use a tri-blends there.
They do. Oh yes, they do look very, very alcohol penny to me. But yes, she's. Do you know what? That image, if you haven't seen it, by the way, this is the first time you're seeing it. That was drawn by one of our in-house artists, the lovely Stacey. Bless her. Our all of our in-house artists, everybody's still working. They're just all working from home at the moment. So it's Leanne's team. Those of you that know the some of the other guests that we have here on Crafters TV. So Leanne manages all of my product developers globally across the world, and so they're used to working remotely a little bit because they work with all, we have different artists that we work with all over the world really, but it's brilliant that they're all working from home at the moment. Stacey's got a little boy, not even a year old yet, so she's managing the duties of being a mum at home along with all the work as well. I can totally understand, can empathise from that, so Stacey's been really busy, bless her.
Talking about, loads of you commenting along. Everyone is absolutely loving these shows. Do we know yet, Sarah, what next week's Colour Me Happy might be?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I do know.
That's a question that we're getting in.
I do know. Whether I can remember might be another matter. Right. Don't. It's a surprise, Joe. It's a surprise.
Ah, it's a surprise. Yes. We know. Of course we know.
Of course we know.
Don't be silly.
What I would say is follow us on social and we'll post what you need.
Absolutely, we will. You'll get all of the details there. And saying, I wish I'd get one of those purple cups for my water. It must be one of the, you're going to have to come to the store, Anne, because that's one of the, once we all get up and running again, because that is the takeaway coffee cups that we use from across in the store there. If you're in the US, maybe you got hold of one of our special Superfan mugs. If you're in the US, I know they went in record time, didn't they, Sarah?
Yes, they've been on HSN this week. It's been a busy week, actually, Joe, hasn't it?
It's been a super busy couple of weeks.
We've been live on HSN here from the UK. We've been live on Create and Craft. I started off the week in style on Create and Craft on Monday morning. So we've done a little bit of all sorts. Isn't that fantastic? We've literally been broadcasting all over the world from our little studio here in Newton Aycliffe.
We really are international, direct from Newton Aycliffe across the world.
Now look at that, look how easy that was, Joe, just to get you going. This is where I want everybody to get started off. Now I've realised there's one demo I haven't quite had time to do, so I'm going to squeeze it in really, really quickly, right? So if I squeeze this in, what I was going to do is, you're all probably wondering why on earth we have the embossing folder in the show, right? So if I just cut this to 5x7, because the embossing folder is a 5x7, right? And I'm going to whiz this, I've got the embossing folder here, I'm going to whiz this through my Gemini machine and show you how you can be doing some embossing as well. So just pop this in here. It's a 3D embossing folder, which means you're going to use your clear cutting plate, your magnetic and your frosted shim. So I'll send that through my Gemini here, and we're going to be colouring. Let's have a look if I've got it here. Yes, this is the embossing folder that we're going to be colouring. So I've got some lovely shades of green and some peach in here as well, so I can show you how we can do all of these. Now can you see that lovely shading? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of that little bit of lovely sea green in here. Oh, it's a beautiful green. We might tip that off with a little bit of yellow onto some of these. I'm just colouring down. What I'll do is I'll bring this down a little bit so you can see my colours there. Little bit of green, bit of yellow. Should we have a little bit of rose pink? I think would be lovely for our little flowers. That does look nice. And then all you're going to do is you're going to use that nice thin brush, right? We're going to just pick this up. Now you can actually have these a little bit wet. Might be easier for you to do wet into wet here. And I'm just going to paint over top of the embossed panels that we have. So because it's a 3D embossing folder, it's already raised up. So it's really easy for you to just follow over the top of what's raised up. Oh, it's a little bud there, so we'll paint that without pink. So you know I said we do the green, and then we tip them off with a little bit of yellow. So once you've got your green on like this, all you're going to do, a little bit more green down here. So then all we're going to do is we're going to pick up a little bit of yellow and tip the edges with a little bit of yellow so that we can get like a two-tone effect coming in. So you get that yellow going in first, and then get your brush cleaned and just blend them all together so that we get like a dual tone shade in this. And then a little bit of pink, and we're just going to pick the pink up onto the bud, and I'm literally using these now as though these were just a paint. So it just shows you we've used these pens as ink pads, we've used them as paint, we've used them as pens and just coloured with them. You can do all these watercolouring technique. It's a brilliant way just to get started. If you don't know how to get started with watercolouring, this is absolutely the way to do it. Now, don't know if you can hear Joe over the other side of the room setting up. That's because you know what happens at 1 o'clock. Joe goes into the vault. Yes, he's rummaging. He's getting all his gear. So every day, what we do after we finish our 11 o'clock show, Joe does an amazing craft vault. So basically, you heard him say before he was going over the warehouse, Joe's going around our warehouse, helping himself to this, that and the other. Oh, what's that pile of stuff over there? What's this here? Can I do a deal on that?
That's why I was down there the other day.
And so Joe is literally looking out for you guys. Joe's getting you everything you need. He's basically your liaison between the warehouse and what we've got going on here. So we are very, very grateful. Well, some of us more than others. I'm not so sure how much of my stock you seem to give away, Joe. So always buy this or get this free. Or I think the worst deal I've known you do is like 30-40% off. So sometimes we do up to 50-60% off things. What have you got on today, Joe?
Oh, I've got a bit of flower forming for you. I've got some soft craft stuff. I've got some dyes. I've got some foiling dyes as well. Oh, and if you've just bought the pens and you want some storage, I'm your man today. So make sure you join me in a few minutes' time to go through all of that.
Yes, stay tuned. This is me almost at the end of my time anyway. Yep, I could literally sit and get lost in this now. But you see how easy it is. So literally just pulling a few little bits and just painting straight from this. And you can see this whole image here. This is that exact embossing folder that's just been painted, and then the glycerin technique to get a little bit of the coloration around the back. And then can you see that spot of gold? It's just had a bit of gilding wax rubbed all over it. Didn't even get to show you the butterflies and how we could colour up the edges of the butterflies, but you're basically just going to die cut your butterflies with your watercolour cardstock and then do your glycerin technique with a bit of blending around the edge. You can do lovely 3D butterflies. There is so much you can do with these pens. Honestly, they are fabulous. There's been a lot of love for these pens this morning. They were absolutely flying on the website. 5-to-1 people going for the masterclass set as opposed to just the smaller one. Let me take you through what all of the options were. So remember, you could just start, if you just want to go for the starter pack, we have a very, very simple starter pack, which gets you the set of 12 primary colours. It also gets you the watercolour cardstock, and then you are getting the butterfly stamp that I used right at the beginning, and then 2 ink pads, one which is the water resistant ink pad, so you can just stamp and use that straight away. The other one is the one that you can use for your embossing or for your resist techniques, okay? So that is your starter kit. Now, you can upgrade from the starter kit to the complete collection if you want. So you basically, that's the starter kit's 30, or this is your bumper kit, which has all of the starter kit in, and another 3 sets of the 12 pens, and we throw in a little bit of a bonus, the 6-piece set of the aqua pens as well on there. So you end up getting 4 sets of pens, all the stuff that was in your starter kit, and the extra little 6-piece set as well. Now, if you are just wanting to try these out, or maybe you're getting them for the kids. Our Charlie, my little one, loves these, right? You can go for either what we call in the boys collection. So that is your primary bright colours. Or we have the girls collection, which has got your nice florally colours, your nice floral shades in there as well, right? Basically, we've taken a few pounds or dollars off. So they should be $22.99 a set here in the UK. We've taken them down to £18 and then thrown in a pack of that watercolour card for free. Because if you just want to get 1 pack of pens and try it, especially for the kids, I want them to have the right paper so they get the best results. Now, do you want to do everything that I've done on the show? If you do, this is the set to go for. I didn't get half of what I wanted to show you done, but we've covered so many techniques. That beautiful magnolia stamp is in there. You've got the Lily 3D embossing folder I've just been working with. You've got the butterflies in there. You've got all of those little extras, loads and loads of the stencil. Oh, the stencil. Don't forget the stencil that was in there too. Stencil, stamps, dies, embossing folders, all to get you started doing all the techniques. So if you want to do exactly this, you must get this set. Must Must. It's brilliant for you to be able to go back and redo the masterclass with me in real time. Now, if you're loving your stamping, don't forget you can get that stamping platform set. So basically, you buy the background and also the 6x6 stamp platform. We'll throw the little 4x4 stamp platform in for free. So it represents a 25% saving, or you can just look on it as getting that little set thrown in there for free. And then all the blending I've been doing it, we've put you a nice blending starter kit together where you've got the mat to blend on, you've got your mixing palettes, those spritzers that I keep using, and then loads of the different applicators. So you've got your brayer applicator, your little eggs that are great for applying ink, and then also we've done the round and the square ones of the blending tools with loads and loads of the refills. Now, those of you who are just wanting to dip into different types of colouring, those discovery kits are the best way to do it. For £11.99, $15.95, you can try manga, you can try brush lettering, you can try watercolour, you can try illustration, you can try design, you can try the 3D mandalas. Brilliant for gifts as well if you're wanting. If you're loving the Colour Me Happy shows and you're wanting to get new people into colouring, what a brilliant way. Order them one of these kits and have it sent direct to their door, and they can be getting into the same sort of craft as you. So that is everything from me today in the Colour Me Happy show, but it wouldn't be a special show without our Joe coming up with the amazing Craft Vault.
Yeah, absolutely. Loads of great deals coming out for you. One last thing before you go, Sarah. I've got to ask you, because poor Rochelle, it's going to ruin her weekend if we don't address this. She said, Joe, why the brayer? What am I going to do with the brayer? She said, if I don't find out, it will drive me nuts until I know its purpose. So I don't want to ruin your weekend, Rochelle. I thought we would just double back and find out what that brayer does, because, you know, your sanity's at stake here.
It's important. Right, so the brayer is basically, go and look on YouTube for braid backgrounds. And what you do is you take the brayer, you put whatever medium you want down onto either your glass mat or your brown mat, you roll the brayer over and it picks it up onto the brayer. Then you can brayer it over top of your cardstock. Or what you should do, have you seen that technique where I do the embossing folder and I rub my ink pad on the inside? A more accurate way is to pick up ink from onto your brayer from your ink pad and then rub it. It's like a paint roller, basically. Very, very smooth surface that allows you to then brayer and build up layers of colour like that.
Oh, I'm glad we got that. We got you covered there, Rochelle. I wouldn't want to ruin your weekend. So yeah, glad you saw that. Yes, we are going now into the Craft Vault, and as Sarah was saying, it's me nagging, rummaging, saying, well, what are we going to do these? Where are those going? Surely we can get a better price on those. And in this Craft Vault, it's all about the buy one get one free, at least 50%. You buy one, you get one free. What do you do, Sarah?
You buy one, you get one free.
Absolutely, across absolutely everything that I've got for you, and some great essentials. Now we're going to start with some flower forming, some Blumen on the show for you. So we've got the flower forming foam. You've got 7 sheets in this collection. So it's a floral bouquet. So you can see you've got all of these gorgeous tones along the side just here, from your sort of icy pale sort of blue corals all the way through to your yellows as well. 7 sheets in here. $5.99 is what you should pay for one. It's 9 by 12 inches as well. And then what you've got here, this is the foliage, I'm very posh today. The foliage green is the one that you've got just here. So you're gonna buy one, get one free, which is fabulous. A quarter of a really, really big stock has gone there, which is fantastic. So $5.99 or $9.95 if you want to get those ones. So homemade. Do you love soft crafting? We've got the show just for you. Make sure you go back and check it out. The Side of Life on a Tuesday morning. Myself and Sarah were here guiding you through a whole host of different needle-based crafts for you. This is great. So what you're getting in here is you're getting firstly one of our, this is the Apple Cores multimedia die. Now the great thing is this is all to do with your paper piecing. So if you're into that, you're going to know exactly what you need to do with this. However, because it's a multimedia die, it's one of those rose gold coloured ones, it means that you can cut a whole host of different things like craft metal and balsa wood and soda pop cans. There's loads of stuff that you can cut using these dies, so it's great to have that, yes, for your soft crafting, but also for a whole host of different things. Now, do you want to make some bags? Well, we have got just the thing for you. It's the Crafty Carry-All that we've got here, and what you've got is you've got the pattern in here, which is going to allow you to do that. So let me just open this up to show you. So what you've got is your full instructions, as you can see in here. So maybe you have dusted the sewing machine off for the first time in a while, because let's face it, we've all got plenty of extra time on our hands at the moment. So maybe you're going to get the sewing machine out. Everything that you need there really clearly and concisely laid out to allow you to do this. And then you've got your pattern in here as well. So you can see your pattern good to go in there that you're going to follow. So it means that you can make your bags, and they really are handy and versatile. They're very sturdy, the bags that you make with this collection. And also it means that maybe you've got, you know, half a metre of fabric you want to use up, maybe you want to upcycle something. This would be the great one to allow you to do that. Now, I know that we did have some stamps on the show. However, I don't have the physical samples, I'm afraid, to show you here in the studio. So do pop across to the website if you want to grab those and have a look at them there. They are all the products from the Craft Vault. Be Beautiful. What's the other one called? Big Girls Pants. Big Girls Blouse I've been called before, but not Big Girls Pants. I wonder if it's the same kind of premise. Yeah, do pop across to the website. Now, on the website, all the Craft Vault items are within the show you've just seen. So it's within Colour Me Happy. Click through into Colour Me Happy, and then you'll see all the Craft Vault products there. They're tagged with the Craft Vault logo. So that logo in the top corner, make sure you see that there. $2.49 to get you 2 stamps. Definitely go check those out. Now, Fairy Garden. This is coming to the end of its life, if you will. Unfortunately, we're retiring this collection, so it really is your last chance to get stock up on some of these. What you've got here, firstly, is the Flower Bed Edge. Now, this one is an edgeable, which is fantastic, and it goes over the edge of your card. There's loads of different ways that you can use these. If you want to, if you want more information on edgeables, or you want to watch back the masterclass that myself and Sarah did, well, there was no masterclassery coming from me. I was just here to chat with you guys and have a natter. But Sarah did a masterclass on the edgeables a couple of weeks back now, so you can go back and find those. And also the other one that you've got here is the Nature's Vines. Now, I think these are underrated, these sorts of dies, because what they are is they're just flourishes, really, when you think about it. But what's the great thing is you can create borders with them. You can make them into corners. You could turn them into reefs. You could even use them. There's a whole host of different things, because when you layer them up and multi-cut them, they take on a new life of their own. So if you want to get both of those, $7.99, or you're paying for the Flower Bed Edge, and we're giving you the Nature's Vines completely free of charge, which is a fabulous deal. Oh, where are they gone? The foil, stamp and dies. Now, these are fantastic. These are our foil stamp dies, but they are stamp and cut dies, which is fantastic. The radiating one. So you're paying for the Be Happy, which is this one just here. And they really do give you something quite fabulous. So they work in the same way that a foil stamp die would, that you run them through your machine. But then what you've got is a separate die. So once you've stamped them with your foils, you would then take them out and you'd use that die there to cut out the aperture. Wonderful for little shaker cards, but just great for a whole host of projects. The great thing is about these, I think the foiling makes them look super crafty. Super gorgeous. I don't know, I just just had a bit of craft Tourette's there, I think. Just blurting out, I'll just be talking, imagine me at the middle of the night. Decoupage, stencils, felting. It's a lot less dangerous than, swear words, I'm sure. It's that time of a Friday. There's a pizza waiting for me over in the office, so you know, my mind is wandering, I'm not going to lie. Now, the next one we've got, this is coming included in the same collection for you. This is the Dreams one. You've got that beautiful butterfly there in the middle, that wonderful foiling design, and then the ability to cut that butterfly out. $14.99 is what they should be each. That's what you're going to pay for one, which is fantastic. I'm just hearing that the flower forming is exceptionally busy. If you want that one, if you're watching the show back afterwards, definitely check the website for the stock situation on that one. Now, maybe you've just gone for your pens. This one is really busy, as I knew it would be. It is the Ultimate Pen Storage Tray. You're going to get 2 of them. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So you've got 12 slots. I was going to call them holes. They're not holes, are they? They're slots. And you've got 2 of them. So it would normally be $5.99 for one. However, you've got 2. Over a quarter of the stock is gone. Pretty much everyone that's ordering these is ordering multiples of them. So if you got Yeah, I think if you got the big collection, you'd want to get probably 3 sets of these. They do store together beautifully as well, so you can either put them together side by side, you can put them on top of each other, directly on top of each other, or you can have them so they concertina as well and cascade backwards. So lots of different options. The other great thing about them as well, what it means is rather than you storing your markers in a pot, which is really not the way forward, you don't want them sort of upended. This is the great thing about you storing these flat. And the great thing is you can put what you want into here. Have you got illustrators, classic, sparkle pens? Have you gone for the aqua markers? Maybe you got some of the tri-blends would go in here. They would stick out just a little bit, but that's not an issue. But you could put your tri-blends in there too. As I said, $5.99 normally gets you one. $5.99 today gets you both of those, which is great. So make sure you stock up on those so you've got somewhere to store all of your pens beautifully. It's been a wonderful week so far here on Crafters TV. I've had a lovely time with you all. So many shows for you guys to go back and have a look at. Don't forget that it's not the end of our shows. Of course, Best Of is coming your way at 11 a.m. So I'm about to say I'll be here at 11 a.m. and I'm wearing a beautiful lemony jumper, and it came out at 11 a.m. That's the time of the day when you have a lemonade, apparently, 11 a.m. So do join me tomorrow for that. I'll be here at 11 a.m. wearing a lemon jumper. But also don't forget, all of the deals are still live from our shows from yesterday. So Carlo was incredibly busy with some great deals in there. Go back, watch that back. Don't forget about your colouring download as well. Make sure you've got that imagery downloaded so you get that printed off and do that the weekend. Also don't forget, gosh, there's so much going on. Don't forget about the extra 5% in the Club Inspire discount as well. So if you are a Club Inspire member, if you're not, why not? Slap wrist, it's free to join, but if you've got a discount status in the club, you're going to get an extra 5%. Now, I hope you have a brilliant weekend, whatever you get up to. See you back here tomorrow. If I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you back here on Monday for a brand new week. Take care.